Oh, hello. Welcome once again to Stuff and Things, where I like to talk about stuff and occasionally even things. I'm your good friend Bradley, and today it is a very pleasant Sunday Stuff and Things. And on this pleasant Sunday Stuff and Things, we have many stuff and things to talk about, including upcoming videos, things that you can look forward to on Stuff and Things and Stuff and Things Plays. We will talk a bit about sort of a rant, sort of a complaint about Amazon Prime. We'll get into that. We'll talk a little bit about how my opinion on Sutliff Eastfarthing, I don't know if I could say it has changed, but it has modified slightly. It has evolved since I posted that. I'm not going to like this video. And then of course we have your comments, questions, and feedback in hashtag askstuffandthings. So let's get into it. So, upcoming videos, things that you can look forward to on Stuff and Things and Stuff and Things Plays. I am holding the next video that you will be seeing on the channel. It is, how can I do this without there being a glare on it? This is my Casio G-Shock GW-5000u. And this is a very cool watch. I got it by mistake, but then I ended up being able to keep it. It is a really cool G-Shock square, with roots all the way back to 1983. The original G-Shock was a square-shaped G-Shock like this, very similar. And I really like this watch. I've had it for a couple weeks now, and I did a full review, and I think you should check it out. If you're looking for a watch that does everything and that you never need to think about, this might be the watch for you. And the full review will be posting this Wednesday on Stuff and Things. We also will be doing the full review of GLP's Maltese Falcon. That will be the following week after the G-Shock video. We have, let's see if I can remember all these things. Aha! Endless Stationery, the Explorer Journal. This review will be coming up soon as well. We have a Timeless Style video in the works. That one, I think I told you last week that I was waiting to see if my really old, almost 60-year-old pea coat was going to survive. I wanted to get it cleaned, and I wanted to do a Timeless Style video on the pea coat. I was able to bring it into a tailor, a really cool local tailor, and she was able to do some repairs on it to make sure it would survive a dry cleaning, and now it is at the dry cleaner. So I'm hoping to get it back soon, and we'll see. I basically hadn't gotten it cleaned in like 15 years or something like that, so it definitely needed it, and it needed some repairs. There were some seams that were starting to fray and some other things going on. So anyway, that video will be coming up as well. And then of course, every Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday on Stuff and Things Plays, the Elden Ring series is still going on. And you should check it out, because I think it's really good. Oh, and by the way, I'm wearing this because of a video I was just doing, so I don't normally look like a reject from a 1920s gangster film, so just so you know. Okay. Yes, for the next topic of discussion, it's going to be hard to discuss this without sounding like an annoying first world asshole, basically. But has anyone else noticed that Amazon Prime, the service that we pay, what is it now, $140, $150 a year for, has basically dropped the whole 2-day Prime shipping thing, and now everything takes over a week to come to your house? Let me talk about this a little bit. So, starting about maybe a month and a half ago, maybe even longer, I started noticing that there were far fewer options for quick shipping from Amazon. And typically, if you're buying something from Amazon, if it is sold by Amazon, obviously they have all sorts of third-party sellers as well, but if it's sold by Amazon or fulfilled by Amazon, usually you would have that 2-day Prime shipping option. And I live in Washington State as well, where Amazon is located. So usually everything I got that was sold by Amazon or fulfilled by Amazon had the 2-day Prime shipping. And a couple months ago, I started noticing fewer and fewer things had the 2-day Prime shipping. And now it is to the point where I still get free Prime shipping, but nothing is 2-day anymore, and it's typically 8 to 9 days. Now, one might say that if you are not a spoiled person living in the Western world, then that's just normal. That's just how long it should take for things to get to you, and I might agree with you. And there are all sorts of environmental and labor issues and all sorts of things involved with Amazon doing their 2-day shipping. And I will cede all those points to you, but the whole reason for me having Amazon Prime, and I think for a lot of people for having Amazon Prime, was the fact that you would get that free 2-day shipping. And even though I don't love the idea of giving a bunch of money to Jeff Bezos, or Bezos, however the hell you pronounce his name, there were many times where I was like, okay, I need this thing right away. I'll go through Amazon because I know I can get that free shipping and I can get it sent to me within a couple days, sometimes the next day. And now that has just quietly disappeared, and I don't think Amazon has really said anything about it. I was trying to look into it online, and I saw some people saying that Amazon mentioned that the guarantee was always 2 days from when it shipped. And so it meant that it wouldn't necessarily get there in 2 days. And maybe that was in the fine print in their Amazon Prime user agreement or whatever, but it always was 2 days from when you ordered it, and often much earlier. And now I just don't have any reason to have Amazon Prime. If this is going to be a permanent thing, if it's not just for the holidays, then I have no reason to have Amazon Prime, because I don't really watch anything that they offer for free on their Amazon Prime Video. I don't use Prime Music. I don't use any of the other features, really, that Amazon Prime offers. It's only for the shipping. And now I might as well just go to a different retailer and purchase it there. I wish I could purchase a lot of things locally, but, you know, because of the rise of online ordering, there are so many kind of specialty shops that just went out of business. People don't offer a lot of products locally anymore, so you kind of have to go online. But I just find it odd that the main selling point for Amazon's Prime service has just been dropped, and no one really seems to be saying anything about it. And I don't know, is this widespread? Is this all over the country? I would think the fact that I live in Washington would make some sort of difference. Like, you know, maybe if I lived in the middle of nowhere, suddenly Prime shipping wasn't offered, but maybe it would still be offered in other places, major metropolitan areas. But the fact that I live in Washington, fairly close to Seattle, that doesn't seem like that would be the reason. And I'm just curious if other people around the country, I'm only thinking about North America right now, or probably just the contiguous US, the lower 48 states. Have you noticed this as well? Has Amazon just dropped the Prime shipping thing? Can you still get things in 2 days, or has it gone to 8 or 9 days like it is for me? Yeah, it's a stupid complaint. It shouldn't really matter, and I guess in the bigger scheme of things, it doesn't. But I'm paying for this service. That was the reason I was paying for the service, and now suddenly that reason no longer exists. What's the deal, Amazon? What's going on? All right, gang. Sutliff Eastfarthing. I didn't really review this blend. I did a I'm not going to like this video on this blend a few weeks back. And the reason I included it in the I'm not going to like this series, can it be a series? I think I've done 2 videos now, so that's a series, is because it is pretty much an aromatic blend. It's not as strong as just the typical, stereotypical aromatic blend that you might think of, but it still has a very obvious vanilla topping. And in the video, I said basically, I don't really like it. But I also told some people who had left comments saying that I should stick with it, that I would. I would try to finish the tin. And I've still got maybe like 1/8 of the tin left. So I've almost finished this tin. And this was a big tin too. What was this? Was this 4 ounces? No, it was still only 1.5 ounces. That's interesting. Anyway, so I almost have finished this tin. I have been trying it periodically for like, I don't know how many weeks it's been, 4 weeks or so. And I have to say that my opinion has moderated a little bit. I still don't love it. I still wish it didn't have the vanilla flavoring, but I can tolerate it. I kind of like it sometimes in certain situations. I enjoy it with coffee in the morning, kind of. But there's still the caveat where I would just rather it didn't have the vanilla flavoring at all. It's like, I've used this analogy a million times, but when I'm having coffee and if I have to put creamer in the coffee, I don't want vanilla creamer. I just want creamer. I want my coffee to taste like coffee, not coffee with a dash of vanilla in it. And I want my pipe blend to taste like the component leaf that goes into the blend. I don't want this added thing that you can, it just feels like someone with a chemical eyedropper just dribbling, oozing on this sticky chemical-y flavor on top. All that being said, I don't hate it. I still don't love it, but I don't dislike it as much as I did in that initial I'm not going to like it video. I think there are good components underneath that vanilla flavor, and I can tolerate the vanilla. I can even sort of enjoy the process of having a pipe with this blend in it, but I still wish that that vanilla flavor wasn't there. So for those of you who were curious, who wanted me to finish the entire tin, that's basically where we are. I don't hate it, but I still don't like it. Well, no, I like it okay. I don't love it. Does that make sense? Probably not. All right, gang, but now it is time for hashtag #AskStuffandThings, and that is where you can ask me questions that I will answer on the Sunday Stuff and Things. You can tweet at SAT Bradley with the hashtag #AskStuffandThings. You can also write to me via Patreon and go to the front of the line, or you can leave comments on YouTube videos. I try to go through all those comments and pick out feedback and questions as well. So first, via Patreon, we have a question from Corbin Bordner. Is the Berserk anime series from 1997 the same as the books on your shelf that you recommended? And I talked to you, Corbin, a little bit on Patreon. I'm sure it is. I know there was an initial 97 anime series. There was a more recent anime series that I think they only did 2 seasons of. I've never seen the 97 version. I'm assuming it's all based on the manga. And I think there are like a couple one-off series or like compilations of arcs from the manga, so I don't know about all the history there. I've never seen the 97, but as far as I know, anything that's called Berserk is based on this original manga. So I'm curious to check out the 97 series at some point because I had never seen it. Next, via Twitter, we have a question from MP Feldman at Count Vivant. By the next airing of the Sunday Stuff and Things, I'll be a newly minted 40-year-old. Happy birthday. What's one piece of advice you would give me about being in my 40s? I don't know. This is a weird thing for me. I don't seem to feel the march of the years going by the same way that other people seem to feel it. Maybe that has to do with the fact that I've never had any kids. That probably has a good amount to do with it. But you know, I was interacting with someone on a construction site the other day who was probably in his early 20s or something like that. And I was kind of brought up short for a second because I realized, like, oh, he is treating me like an elder or a superior. Like he was sort of trying to impress me, and he was sort of playing up some things to me, and I realized, like, oh, I'm not a peer. He doesn't see me as a peer. Whereas I see someone in their 20s and I don't think of myself as being like on a different level or a different strata. I still feel that way. So it's interesting too, like people used to try to pick fights with me when I was younger. That was just kind of a thing that would happen a lot, and now that never happens. And I realize it's because, oh, well, I'm much older than them and they don't think of me as being within that same strata anymore, and so I'm not a threat or a competitor. But to me, it's just like, oh, no one tries to fight me anymore. I wonder why that is. I don't know. It's hard to explain. But if any of that makes sense, when I hit 30, it didn't seem like some huge milestone to me. When I hit 40, it didn't seem like any huge milestone to me. You just live your life. Like, I don't know. I don't know what advice to give. Are you doing something you want to be doing? And if you're not doing that thing yet, maybe you should investigate how you could start pursuing that thing. I don't really think it's ever too late for anything. Maybe having children if you're in your 60s might be a little too old if you're a man, but, oh, my Casio's beeping. But, I don't know, it's different as a man too, because yeah, you can have kids into your 40s if you want. I don't know, I just don't think of age as really being that big of a deal. I don't feel any huge difference between being 39 and being 41. Like, it doesn't really seem to make that much of a difference. I notice a few little things. I get a couple gray hairs. But yeah, it's not that much different for me. So I don't know. I'm afraid I don't really have any advice for you or anything to tell you. as a newly minted 40-year-old other than try not to die in the next 40 years or so. And that'll be a good run. Next, via YouTube, we have a question from Scottum. And thank you for the super chat, not super chat, the super thanks, Scottum. Much appreciated. They say, "Good day, Bradley. For the sake of content, how do you feel about cob pipes? I must admit I turned my nose up at them after purchasing my first briar and didn't look back for some time. Recently, I had a blend I didn't care for and had someone suggest trying in a cob. To my surprise, I did indeed notice a difference. Do you only S from briars? I don't recall a video seeing anything else. Cheers. Additionally, I missed the video on YouTube today. Your Facebook post helped remind me to search it out." That's good. Can't remember if I did a post for the Wednesday video. I should do that on Facebook. People have asked me about cobs before. It comes up every once in a while. I have owned cobs. I have used cobs. I don't really like cobs all that much. And people are always like, "What?" Because some people swear by cobs. They're fine, but I prefer briars. I prefer the feel of a briar in my hand. I prefer pretty much everything mechanically about a briar pipe. And even though a cob might be fine for me, I don't see any compelling reason to use one because I'm getting anything I need out of the pipe from my briar pipes. And that's not to say that you can't enjoy a cob. I know a lot of people really love them. A lot of people think that they don't affect the flavor as much as some other pipes do. I don't know that I have really experienced that myself, but no, I don't need them. They're fine, but I don't need them. Okay, now we have some feedback. This is from the last Sunday Stuff and Things and from Frank D'Agostino. They say, "The notebook system looks fantastic." The Endless Stationery Explorer Journal. "I've heard good things about the Regalia paper. Looking forward to your review. Also looking forward to your thoughts on Maltese Falcon." Well, you'll be getting both of those very soon, Frank. Thank you. From Corbin Bourbon. "Looks like you put a metal band on a work watch. I don't know if that's the safest practice. Food for thought, although it does look pretty nice." It is not a metal band, actually. This is the Casio Combi bracelet, I think they call it, and this is the version 2. So this is actually all plastic. I think the version 1, the links in between were metal, but these ones are all plastic. And it's great. I guess this part is metal, the clasp itself. And there are metal inserts where the spring bars connect all the links together. But it actually works really well. It's nice and light. I thought it might be kind of cheap feeling, but it doesn't feel cheap. And it just makes it so much quicker and easier to put the watch on and off, or take the watch on and off. So that's why I got it. And I don't actually wear this watch. I have been wearing it to work, but I'm often taking it off if I'm going to be doing anything particularly rough because I ended up getting a much more expensive watch than I thought I was going to be getting. And so I don't want to ruin it because it will get ruined if I wear it to work all the time. That's all there is to it. And so I may get a cheaper watch again to wear for work. Next, we have Maltese Falcon First Impressions Reactions. A lot of people are just saying they love Maltese Falcon. An example of this is DT77 says, "Love this stuff." Malcross the Mad says, "I place Maltese Falcon right up there with great Latty blends like Black House and 10 Russians. Delicious, smoky flavor with just the right amount of nicotine without feeling oppressive. I'd easily put Maltese Falcon in my top 5 blends. I find it's S's best with a nice deep bowl so you get all those flavors good and deep. Nothing like piling 5 pinches of Maltese Falcon into a Nording Giant and watching the snow fall." Cool. But we did have a couple people who disagreed. This is John Smith. They say, "I'm not a fan of the Orientals in this blend. I can tell it's a quality blend, just not my preference. Same with Chelsea Morning." Fair enough. Thank you all for your feedback. Please keep that coming in. It really helps to interact with you all, see what you're feeling about the different stuff that I'm posting, and getting your impressions and feedback about all the videos. It's really, really helpful. Now, it is time for the very best part of the show, and that is where we thank our Patreon supporters. If you would like to support the channels on Patreon, there is a link in the description box below, and it is much appreciated. You can also hit that super thanks button if you wish, and leave a message as well. It just helps everything. It helps pay for the fancy camera that is filming this video now, the lights that are shining upon me, blends for review, other products. Gives me a chance to buy them and check them out and show them to you and talk about them on the channel. And every week we like to thank those who support the channels at $25 or more a month. People like Kirk Crompton, Glenn, Jason Buckner, Gloria Phillips, MDoftheNorth, David Gaudreau, Nick Papageorgio, John Tice, Ryan McFadin, and Finn O'Hagan. And of course the Maniacs, the crazy people who support the channels at $100 a month. People like Bob Magee and Ashes of the Phoenix. And we will never forget our Hall of Fame member, our dearly departed friend, Peter Straub. Now gang, please stay tuned for the Casio GW-5000u G-Shock watch review. Also for the Maltese Falcon full review. The Endless Stationery Explorer Journal review. Elden Ring every Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday. And until next time, until we meet again, I've been your good friend Bradley. You've been the audience. This has been Stuff and Things. I'll see you later.